What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel where I talk and do everything pinball. So if that sounds interesting to you, then hit that subscribe button down below. The following video is a little lengthy by all means because I do have a big Rush fan along the ride with me. Thomas Cicchetti is also one of my Patreon supporters, and I told him to make sure to be honest, brutally honest in your thoughts and opinions about this game because I know I'm going to be. For those of you out there that are not Rush fans, I feel like this may be a little bit informative for those that would like to know more about why they are seeing what they are seeing on this game. So without further ado, let's get started. Alongside me is a hardcore Rush fan, Tom Cicchetti. Hello, Tom. How are you doing?
Good. How you doing?
We're doing good, I guess. So let's go through this game, and I wanted to get your opinions on it. And I'm basically going to be going through the This Week in Pinball website because they typically have all the good images provided and everything and all the information. So we have lead game designer John Borg. That's not a great surprise. I think we were all in the know on that one when it comes to who all was involved in the makings of it, going to be designing wise. We weren't sure exactly on the software portion, but now we see it's Tim Sexton. And so that's going to be good because he's typically been working with Steve Ritchie. So it's interesting to see him now going to be working with John Borg. Mechanical engineer, Elliot Eisman. And from what I'm seeing so far when it comes to the engineering on this game, I'm liking what I'm seeing when it comes to underneath the playfield with the double scoops and the way that ball launches out. That's pretty nifty right there. We're not seeing like a building collapse and everything like we did on Godzilla. And that's what I'm going to try to keep from doing. I do not want to make this to compare against Godzilla. That's not fair. I mean, I guess I could also say I don't want to compare it against Led Zeppelin because I also feel that wouldn't be fair either because this game has got so much more in it and it looks a hell of a lot better than Led Zeppelin. So I don't want to compare it too much, at least, against Led Zeppelin. But if we're talking about band themes, then I think it's pretty fair. And I'll try not to.
That's when I was waiting for it to come out. I mean, I knew I was going to have a biased opinion because, I mean, I've been a lifelong Rush fan. I've been waiting for this game since I started collecting 20 years ago. So, I mean, it could have had Bullwinkle on the playfield. I would have liked it. But, I mean, I was genuinely surprised with how well I liked everything looked on it.
And that's what I was mainly wanting to get you involved in on this conversation is because that I wanted to get it to someone that is going to be obviously biased because of your actual fanatic, mentality for the band. You even have a tattoo. And I remember we even had a conversation and everything when we were at, around Borg in Expo. Mm-hmm. So, you got to show him your tattoo and he acted like he didn't know what that was kind of thing.
Yeah.
He's like, no, never heard of Rush.
Yeah, he gave me the wink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him 15 times all my life. Even drove up to Toronto to see him because that's where they're from. So it's kind of like going down to Graceland, to see Elvis. This has been a dream come true.
So you're super excited. So are you in on getting on one? In which model?
Yeah, I actually work for a distributor here in Columbus, Ohio, and they've already known that I was putting an order in for either premium or LE, and I was just waiting to see what the actual images look like before I gave them the final word. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm in for a premium.
Premium, okay. I was like, well, which is it? You gonna go with that LE because they upped the price some more?
That had a lot to do with it too. I mean, that price jump because they kept raising prices. With I knew that I had it. We all kind of knew the game was coming out for a while now. So every release that came out with Mandalorian and Godzilla, all the prices kept going up. So I was getting pissed each time. I'm like, well, you guys quit raising the goddamn prices because my game's not out yet. I feel like I can get a better bang out of the buck from the premium. I mean, anything that's added on LE that I would want, I can do later on.
And continuing on with the lead mechanical engineer, we had Elliot Eisman, then technical lead artist, Paul... Is it Chamnankit? Is that how you say his name? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
Is it Chamnankit? I don't know. But I looked at this guy up, and basically his background has been mainly in video games in the past, except for 2018 to now, he's been with Stern. I'm going to pop in here real quick because at the time of this recording on TWIP's website, the artist was not on the list, as you can clearly tell from the image I have provided on the screen, but it has since been added. So the artist for Rush is Michael Bernard. So sound engineer Bob Baffy and computer graphics art director Chuck Ernst. So as far as Chuck Ernst, we all know that he does damn good. So as of right now, there hasn't been a lot shown for what's going to be on the screen. We're not going to usually see that until Jack Danger streams it. I doubt that I'll have any kind of complaints, especially since what I'm really excited about is that the band was involved in the makings of this. So I don't think from a design perspective, but I know that when it comes to like the call outs and the sound, they were all on board with that. And there's even been a video showing with Ed from Bare Naked Ladies on there, showing them basically in the booth doing all their recordings and call outs and everything. So I'm liking, and this is why, and I'm hoping that future manufacturers or current manufacturers in the future learn why Jersey Jack Pinball did so well with Guns N' Roses, and that was because they had Slash so involved in the makings of the game, and whatever they wanted, he did his damnedest to get it into the game. And I feel like if you want to compare Led Zeppelin to a lot of other bands, it feels like Led Zeppelin was holding off on things that they could put into the game. And from what I gather from talking with Steve Ritchie and hearing a bunch of other stuff, is that evidently Led Zeppelin was very difficult to work with when it comes to the licensing and what they wanted in the game. And I think that really hindered why Led Zeppelin turned out to be kind of not the big bang I think a lot of Led Zeppelin fans wanted it to be. Let's go through some of my notes now that we know who all the main key players, and we obviously know there's much more people involved in the makings of this game, but they kind of highlight just the keys on there. So when it comes to price, Pro is at $68.99, Premium is at $899.9, basically $9,000, but Limited Edition has gone up. Do you have any thoughts and feelings about the LE going up in price?
I hate it. I don't think, they keep raising this price up every game, and they're not really, they're adding some stuff to it, the premium speakers and the powder coating. And, the one thing I like the most about the LEs is the glass back glass. That's always a cool thing to have again. But
you like in general,
the actual back glass, yeah.
Oh, the actual back glass. Okay, not just in general with the art. So, we, along with the pricing differences on this, we're seeing they've got 16 songs. So it's a pretty good amount of songs. Were you expecting more or less?
I actually thought there was going to be less. I was impressed with how many they picked, and they picked a really good list of them too. There's a couple that they didn't add that a lot of fans thought they would, like YYZ. YYZ's not on there. That's one of their popular instrumentals that could have been good.
So,
or something.
In your opinion, is there a particular song that you wish that they would have put in the game?
That I wish no, actually, to be honest, the one that I picked that I was hoping would be put in got put in. And everybody was. There's a song with the Big Money, which is off their Power Windows album, which is a really great song, and it's the first one that caught my eye when they showed that teaser video, and I was so excited that that's going to be on there. But yeah, as of the song that's missing, I think YYZ would probably be the one that I was disappointed didn't make the cut. And Force 10 would have been a good one.
Yeah, that's one of those things where I'm like, I don't really know a lot of their songs, and this is why I wanted you to be on here, because I could sit here and talk whatever. I only know maybe 3 of these damn songs, and it's nothing against the band. I don't hate the band or dislike it or anything. It's just one that never caught me to where I was like, I need to listen to all their albums kind of thing. Might be an age difference thing. I don't know. But, yeah, so let's see here. So we got the 16 songs, and so it's a pretty hefty amount, and I think it's a large sum of the fact that they were more than willing to provide whatever they needed to make this game as good as it's going to be kind of thing. The Pro versus the Premium. So a lot of people want to know, what are they not going to be getting on their Pro model versus their Premium? So the big differences on the Pro versus the Premium is that on your Premium, the ramp to the time machine, it moves. Whereas on the Pro, it's going to be a static ramp. It's not going to move up and down. It's kind of like reminiscent to Iron Maiden, only the Iron Maiden flipped up. It didn't move up and down kind of thing. And like you mentioned, there's not going to be a VUC on that upper center shot to the left of the time machine that leads back to the inner right end lane with the wire form. So that's not going to be there. Instead of the VUC, it's going to be just a stand-up target that you hit. It's just kind of hit up there and come right back down. I think that's going to be a little bit better shot than the Led Zeppelin, because that shot in general, whether you have a wire form or not, was freaking hard to hit.
Right.
So even if you did get it in there, it was like, oh, all right, cool. It'd be a lot cooler if it was a wire form, but even then it was kind of a difficult shot to nail. So along with that, you're not going to be getting a ball lock behind the drop targets that are on the left side of the machine. There, you have those 3 drop targets. There's just going to be a target, a standard target behind that. Whereas on the premium, you're going to be getting a ball lock mechanism, and basically it turns into one of those locked balls that you hit that bounces up and hits a target. That eventually will probably give you a 2-ball multi-ball kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool shot. I like that.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't think I've seen anything similar to that before.
Yeah, I always like whenever they put drop targets into a game, I'm always like, yay, kind of thing. I mean, so I'm a drop target person. So one big thing that they're not going to have on the Pro versus the Premium is the big bass drum over the pop bumpers with the moving motorized clock. And what all is involved in that when it comes to what it does to the game. You were just telling me earlier that you believe it's going to have elements pertinent to the gameplay on the Premium.
Yeah, I think I remember them saying that it ties into one of the modes.
Okay. Because I didn't know if it was going to be kind of like, like you said, Twilight Zone, or if it was going to be like a funhouse situation. But it looks like the clock moves when the ball is bumping through the pop bumpers. So, and those are the big main things. I thought it was pretty interesting is that even on the Pro, we're still getting 2 scoops with the ball launching back underneath the playfield. But I want to say that's a little bit different on the Premium versus the Pro. Let's see here. Let's look at the matrix here. Yeah, on the Pro, basically, it just says you're going to be getting the side scoop subway with front main power scoop kick out. So it looks like it's going to go in there and just kick out instead of, I guess, holding 2 pinballs at one time like you would on the Premium. Something that they don't mention on this matrix, and I'm kind of curious if it's even mentioned on here before I basically bust out and be like, yeah, bitches, didn't think I noticed this. Let me see here. I don't want to be wrong, but let's see here. I wish I could do a word search. Can I? I can do a word search, and I'm not saying it. So, along with the differences of what we've mentioned, the other big difference, and I want you to look at the images now between the Pro and the Premium, and look at the apron.
Or no, that must have been the LE I was looking at.
Yeah, well, the LE still looks good in comparison to the Pro. The Pro apron, and I'm not
dissing.
Yeah, it's if you like. I mean, I'm able to on my screen right here. I'm able to like just go back and forth real quick to see all the differences. And the big thing I'm noticing is that the Premium and the LE aprons look so much better in comparison to the Pro. I mean, after going over the differences, I want to talk about now basically likes and dislikes. And so far, I'm looking at my little list right here. My likes.
Oh, one thing I caught that is on the Premium that's not on the Pro. The Pro has red and white general illumination. The Premium has red, white, and blue general illumination.
Yeah,
why add another color? I don't know.
It's. I try to go mainly for the mechanical features when I'm talking about discussions and stuff like that, because like the lighting stuff, I'm like, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, when it comes to the differences on what the Pro and Premium is, but the things that really matter, the meat to it, is those mechanical stuff. But yeah, you have a lot of little minute differences and everything.
Yeah.
But so when you're looking at these 3 tiers, which model aesthetically is more pleasing to you?
I like the Premium.
So Premium is the one that is aesthetically more pleasing to you, art-wise and everything.
Art-wise, yeah, that was the first thing that stood out to me was the cabinet art on the Premium. It's funny because when I first thought about which one I would want to be on that cabinet, I was against using the first album graphics because that was the cabinet that accidentally got leaked a little bit back months ago on Pinside.
Mm-hmm.
And funny, it's the cabinet I like the most.
And see, me,
because I mean, I like the way it looks. I like the coloring. I like how they threw a bunch of little elements from the other album covers into it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks good. I like it.
So me, I love the hell out of the limited edition cabinet art, and I'm guessing that's just my mindset of liking, the steampunk attitude as well, with all the cogs of and stuff like that, like kind of like clockwork type of material and everything. I get it. Yeah. But when I saw the just that type of theme, just like caught my eye. So at first, at quick glance, I was like, "Oh, is that the Pro?" I mean, like, would the Pro just happen to have the best artwork on the cabinet, in my opinion, kind of thing? And no, it just happened to be the LE. But I like the hell out of the LE, along with the blades on the side and everything. That looks pretty cool.
Those blades are pretty nice, but I've also the side blades that they're going to offer up as an accessory, I like better.
Yeah, because
it's got the actual Starman logo on it, and that's always been my favorite.
So the premium, like you said, I mean, it's the basic of basic. I mean, but the cabinet for the back box, that looks pretty cool. I like the way that looks. So it's definitely much better than what they did with Led Zeppelin when it comes to the art.
Yeah, far.
Yeah. So Pro, this is where I kind of have to go, what happened here? And it's not like it's bad. It's just that it's so different in comparison to the Playfield. So if you're looking at the cabinet art, the style of how they're drawn in comparison to the style of how they're drawn in the Playfield, it doesn't match. They're two different styles. So if you can take a gander at those two images and just give me your feedback on how you feel about that. It's one of those things where I'm looking at the cabinet, I'm like, okay, it's not like it's bad. It just doesn't kind of match with what's going on the Playfield with how the style and they're drawn.
I mean, what are you referring to?
How the band members are drawn, how they look in comparison to how they look on the center of the Playfield. And I've got my own little thoughts on the center of the Playfield as well.
I mean, I think they look kind of similar. I mean, I guess when I wasn't really, I mean, it didn't grab me with the style that they used to do the members, but I mean, I guess the more I look at it, the more I'm like, it's not too bad. Could have been a lot better, yeah, but it also could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, that's what I'm leaning at. This is more.
I mean, I like it a lot better than Photoshop.
Yeah, I think anybody will take not Photoshop any day of the week kind of thing. So I'm glad that they didn't do Photoshop, and I think this is just a good middle of the road, a safe. It's not gonna. I don't see it winning any kind of Twipies or awards for art package or anything like that. I don't see it matching the Playfield, and then that's what I want to talk about next. I know maybe not next, because I still want to maybe I'll just kind of go back and forth more on my likes and my dislikes, because I honestly don't have but maybe 2 dislikes compared to all of my likes that I have about this. So my first like was that the band was involved.
Yeah,
I really like the LE cabinet art. I really like the double scoop mech involved in this. I'm guessing it's only available on the premium and LE. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I'm liking that the third shot, there's 3 shots for that third flipper. And
when you say the double scoop,
you have 2 scoops.
Pro.
Yeah, you have 2 scoops, but evidently it doesn't have the same kind of subway mech as the premium. Yeah, so you still have your 2 scoops, which is cool. And that's the thing, is that, they remove some things that are not going to be seen by the eye because it's underneath the Playfield, with the mech and the subway system underneath the Pro versus the Premium is different. But I'm liking how they decided to keep both scoops in there. It's just that the mech underneath is not there. But I like the fact that the third flipper has got 3 shots that I can see. If you see more, by all means, please let me know. Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty sure there's only 3 shots, but going by, if they wanted to talk like they did with Led Zeppelin, then they would probably say, that ramp is accessible by the third flipper.
Yeah, the one cool thing about that third flipper, that they mentioned in the discussion. I don't think they showed in the video. They said it's kind of, if you shoot the orbit and hold that flipper up, it will deflect it into the scoop.
Oh, so it's like an automatic, just kind of like that's where it should go if you're going fast enough to hit that flipper. Yeah. And there's that shot also behind the third flipper also. That's where like an extra ball can be located in the drum solo feature because it shoots it back into the lane. So, but yeah, so I'm seeing basically you get a shot into the side scoop, a shot into the left ramp, and that left ramp feeds all the way up either couple of possible ways, right? Or is it always going to feed? Because it's got that diverter. I don't think it's going to allow it to go to the other side of that because it goes to the left ramp, but I think it's always going to feed back to the left flipper. I don't know if that I think that diverter is only whenever you make that right ramp.
The diverter is just the right ramp.
Yeah,
it goes through the back box and then it goes through the back of the game and it comes back.
Yeah, that's kind of looking. I was like, yeah, I think that's more ideally how that would be. But I just like having a third flipper with multiple shots, and that was one thing I didn't really care about Led Zeppelin is that you had that one particular shot. You had some targets that you could hit, but that's not as fun as hitting ramps with it.
Right.
But so, yeah, you have your side scoop, your left ramp, and then as well as looks like it's going to be a repeatable orbit. Am I wrong on that inner shot? To the left of that left ramp.
From the upper flipper.
Yeah, the third flipper, you're going to hit that shot to the right of that left ramp.
Yeah, I think because if you look on the right side, you can kind of see the lane where it comes out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing where the shot to the right of the ramp of the time machine goes to. That basically just kind of like comes back and feeds the upper flipper, it looks like. But as far as where that inner orbit shot leads to, it's probably in the video. I just can't recall where it goes, but I'm hoping that that's a repeatable shot. I like those repeatable loop-de-loop shots. That'd be nice. So
it's also kind of like looking at the video to see if someone hits it, but they keep hitting that ramp.
The time machine mech, that looks pretty nifty. I'm liking how that's also in every game. I was expecting them to have the sculpted time machine on the premium and LE and just have like, a sheet of flat plastic for a pro. I think that's what a lot of people would anticipate Stern would do. But they decided to give us the sculpted version of the time machine in every model. So kudos to them for doing that because I like that a hell of a lot better than what wouldn't surprise me if someone probably thought that they should do.
Yeah.
So the rush cutout on the ramp, I like how that's also on every model as well.
Yeah, that's their type font for the Hemispheres album.
Okay. So when it comes to like the art on the playfield, is there anything that just kind of sticks out to you or you thought could be better?
As far as better, the main thing is the three band members, I guess, could have been. I don't know.
So here's I'll give you my input and we'll see if maybe you kind of parallel with me on this one right here. Mm-hmm. If you look at the three band members, I don't know their names, I'm sorry, but if you had the three there on the middle of your playfield.
Alex on the left, Neil in the middle, Getty on the right.
Okay, so if you look at the art and quality of Alex, he's the blonde on the left, right?
Right. Yes.
Okay. Look at the shading and just the quality of how he is drawn. And then as you go further to the right, it looks like it gets shittier and shittier. And I'm being harsh on that. But I mean, if you look at this, that almost looks Franchi's quality right here on Alex.
Mm-hmm.
And then you move over and it's like, okay, you went from a pretty realistic looking eyes to these really oval looking eyes that kind of like goes more cartoonish. And then you go further to the right to where it's like, okay, the sunglasses kind of cover up the eyes, but that just kind of makes it look even more cartoonish.
Right. Well, that's kind of his trademark thing too. He always wears those little circular glasses.
Yeah. But it kind of reminds me, I'm not sure if you've ever seen this picture before, but it's like, it's comparing like the different tiers of something or whatever, and it's a horse, and you have the beginning of the horse looking really beautiful, and then as it gets further along, it gets shittier and shittier to where it's like the different stages of drawing something or whatever, and it's like comparing like 2 or 3 different things. I'm gonna have to find that drawing and put it up here, but it seems like it went really good with Alex, and as it went further to the right, it just kind of got it just kind of veered off into a different direction. I mean, tell me I'm wrong or whatever, but I mean, that's because I'm looking at just the quality of Alex.
Yeah, there's more detail in Alex, and then Andy's face is kind of flat.
Yeah, I think that's just where it veers off a little bit, where I'm like, what happened here? It's almost like there was 2 different artists that did Alex versus the other 2 members.
Man. I did see someone already comment that Neil looks like Doug Henning. I don't know if you know who he is.
Nope.
Old magician. He's an old magician from the 70s.
Oh, okay. That's probably why I don't know who he is. But other than that, let's just take those 3 band members and how I feel about how they differ in the quality. Mm-hmm. Nothing else really sticks out to where I'm like, what happened here or anything like that. I mean,
I like how down the bottom for where the inserts are and all the song names, they have little catchy little graphics next to each song to go with them. That's pretty cool.
And these are all images taken from the albums, I assume.
Like
if they're not Flying from the Brains.
Album, that's from Hemispheres. Yeah.
Okay.
But some things like the Tom Sawyer on the Raft, that's not from the album. That's just something that obviously everybody knows what Tom Sawyer is.
Yeah.
I do really like that the Starman is like prominently right there in the center. Mm-hmm. That's a cool feature.
All right. I mean, like, so going through the art, I mean, try to, I guess, nail down anything for anybody else who's not familiar with Rush, so that way they have an idea of why they went a certain direction that they did. I mean, like, so the Owl, for instance.
The Owl is from Fly By Night album, their second album, and then the whole front of the album cover is just the owl, like an owl flying. And it's cool. It fits in perfectly right there, I think. I mean, it's a good spot for it. And then the little hoot again instead of shoot again. That's kind of funny.
Yeah. And the Clockwork stuff, I'm guessing that's from their Time Machine.
That's from the last album, Clockwork Angels.
Clockwork Angels, okay. Yeah.
Time Machine was the name of their tour back in 2010. It was kind of like their greatest hits tour that they did. And they were basically they had a time machine on stage, and they would go back to the different years and play the songs. Oh. That explains the whole Time Machine theme.
Okay, so going further up on the playfield, I'm just kind of inching up. And we've gone over the 3 band members right there. Mm-hmm. And is there anything else that kind of sticks out to you art-wise that you agree with or don't agree with or think that, kind of...
I mean, it looks like they got a little bit of everything from all the different albums on there.
Yeah, I'm seeing like an airship up here right there in front of the third flipper.
That's from Clockwork Angels.
Okay.
The last album. Then you got the dice above the scoops for Roll the Bones. Mm-hmm. I was trying to see. Looks like they got the comet or meteor from Vapor Trails on there on the left above the drop targets.
Yeah, see that.
Yeah, I mean they got a bunch of stuff on here from all the albums.
So you're seeing basically a lot of little Easter eggs, basically for those that are like really into Rush. Then they should get a kick out of just kind of going over this playfield, trying to see if they can figure out which album that they're, mentioning at a particular moment and stuff like that.
I mean, the backlight, all 3 translights got Easter eggs all over them.
See, they
did good with that.
I was looking at the, they got the airship right above the right ramp at the very top of the back panel as well. Is there a particular reason why they've got 1978 AD on the Time Machine?
No, that's just one of the years. I'm kind of wondering if that changes, but I don't know if it does, because during the concert, that would just scroll around. The different numbers would pop up as the song came on. But yeah, it looks like that might be stationary because every picture is 78.
Yeah, that's probably...
Because the band actually started in 74.
Interesting. My little Wikipedia guy for Rush right here. That's why I wanted to have you on here, because people were like, you're not a Rush fan, Cary, you don't know. And I'm like, I know. That's why I want to get somebody on here that does. And hopefully can educate a lot of you out there on why we are seeing what we are seeing on the playfield. I mean, some people are going to look at this and go, I don't get it. Why do we have this? Why do we have that? And that's why I wanted to have you on here, Tom, so you can probably give a little bit more information to these people out here that are uneducated on Rush like myself. kind of thing.
It's my pleasure.
And then
on the LE back glass, it looks like they did a tribute to Neil Peart, the drummer, because they got the main big drum sitting there.
Yeah, let's look at the back glasses. I haven't looked at the back glasses thoroughly yet, and I've already scrolled past them. Go back up. Back glass wise, which one's your favorite?
I like the premium one.
All right,
because it's got the moving pictures building in the background, which I actually went up and got my picture taken in front of. It's got the fly by night owl. I can see the Starman. It's got the rabbits on it from Presto, which is that's a nice little Easter egg.
Right, so it basically coalesces pretty good together. The back glasses, do they all seem to pretty flesh out pretty well together? Nothing stands out.
I mean, I personally, as far as the art, I would rather have the pro head artwork on the premium cabinet.
Because of Starman?
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm liking how just, again, I'm comparing to Led Zeppelin here. I'm glad that they didn't just cheap out and just take an album cover and just blow it up and make that the artwork for it. That was my biggest freaking complaint on LE or Led Zeppelin in general, was like how they just mailed it in on the art. I'm like, you kidding me? I'm like, I could have done this. I shouldn't be able to look at something and go, I could have done better. And I've noticed
it looks like they went and got Led Zeppelin wrapping paper and wrapped it up for a Christmas gift and just put it under a tree.
Yeah, and that's the thing also, I've noticed even on their feature videos for this particular game, whoever is doing the videography for this particular game put more effort into it. And that's the thing that I like also about this reveal trailer and game trailer. Props to Stern again for putting a little bit more effort into reveal videos, because this actually was put together and edited as well to where I can go, oh yeah, well, I mean, that was pretty good. Because some of their reveal gameplay trailers, I'm just like, I mean, I could have done that. I mean, but this one was well done, so props to them on their reveal trailers on building up the hype and showing all the ins and outs of how the game plays when it comes to where the ball goes. So I think I've gone over just my two dislikes. Was the Pro cabinet didn't seem to match the Playfield. Just the styles, not that it was bad. I do still think maybe the art is the weak spot for this game. I think the sound should be good. The design looks like it's going to be pretty interesting to see. It's Borg, so it's probably going to be a brutal game. Then you have the art, and I think it seems to be the weak spot on this game. But I think it's a lot better than Led Zeppelin, and it's
I'm looking at the in lanes, trying to wonder how many times we're going to yell his name out.
Yep, they're still going to have that Borg bounce.
He put rubbers on him, though. There's rubbers on the in lanes, so that's a good thing.
Man, I do really like that LE cabinet. I stress that again. I don't know. I guess maybe I like yellow or something. I don't know, but that's just really sticking out to me.
I do like that they went with a flat black powder coat for that.
Yeah.
Instead of doing some stupid
something
ice blue or
baby blue or something crazy. I mean, you can't go wrong with black. I definitely think that this is a game that a lot of Rush fans and those that are not even Rush fans are going to appreciate. It looks good. And I think I
think it looks packed.
Yeah. So
it looks like there's so much to do. There's shots everywhere. I can't see anybody getting bored with this game.
Yeah. So as definitely a Rush fan, you're definitely pleased what Stern has put out.
Yeah. I am. I mean, like you said, and like I'm sure everybody's gonna say, the one downfall I see is the artwork, which it's not as bad as people were saying it was going to be.
Yeah, I think people were probably going to be over exaggerating on the quality of the art. Yeah. And my thing is that I'm like, oh, it's not horrible. I mean, it's just the weak spot of the game. I think every game has got a weak point in it somewhere. I mean, you have to look at, where a game is flawed just to be objective about it, kind of thing. Right. But other than that, the game, I cannot wait to see it played. I don't know if they revealed when they're going to stream it. Usually Jack says something.
Yeah, he said the 7th, I believe they're going to stream it.
All right, so he's
going to stream a premium.
Oh, that's on Friday. Sweet. Yep. So then we're going to have some gameplay footage to go over and see how well it plays, and I think it's going to be shooting pretty good. I'm hoping that it's going to be the kind of stream that we had for Godzilla as well. It just Get it right in there. Show us how the game plays.
Yeah. Not an hour of explaining everything.
But here's something I think that even as a Rush fan that you should be a little disappointed about. And that is, if you're looking at the game, mainly for LEs. As an LE owner, you're spending $11,000 on this game. You've got signatures from the designer on there. But shouldn't you think you'd have something a little extra from the band?
I mean, especially with how much they were on hand to work on it, too.
Exactly. I'm thinking that they should have their signatures on the LEs.
Right.
I think that would definitely make it to where, we increased our price, but you know what? We got the band to sign the aprons. Okay, that's pretty awesome kind of thing. That gives it a little more incentive on getting the LE that you're getting their signatures on the game somewhere kind of thing, or even a signature card, something like that. You can get Elvira's couch, piece of her friggin' couch. You can get some guys to write their damn names down on a piece of paper.
Right.
I'm just saying.
But one thing I don't like, and I mentioned it to you earlier, I can't stand flasher caps on slingshot plastics.
Oh.
I never, ever, ever liked that. I don't know why they still do it. It just looks ugly. I don't know. It just doesn't fit.
And that's on a lot of games. It's one of those things
I just don't. I never. It just doesn't seem to fit for me. I don't know. I would actually consider buying aftermarket plastics and just taking the flashers out of there.
Well,
that's how much I don't like.
Wow. Yeah. All right. It's something I just never even thought about. The good thing is at least they're all red domes.
Yeah.
So it should be easier on the eyes, and that was one of my big old complaints about Borg's last game on Turtles is that some of the light show from Blinded by Dwight, he would just set up a shot coming around the orbit, but you couldn't see it because he's busy flashing your eyes, burning your retinas because he's like, "Hey, ball's coming!" I can't see. But
it's funny you just say that, and the strobe light on my Flash Gordon just went off and struck me right in the eyes.
There you go. I had to change out the lenses on my flashers on Turtles to red, so that way it wouldn't be so harmful on the eyes.
Yeah.
And so that's a good thing. I mean, you don't like the aesthetics of it, but at least they're not, clear where they're going to blind you while you're looking down at your flippers kind of thing. That would just be cheap.
The expression lighting
is only on the LE.
Only on the LE.
Yeah.
But they said it's already routed out to add to the Pro and Premium.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the expression lighting. Does it really actually illuminate anything, or does it just kind of give you an extra little light show?
It's just a light show.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I didn't think it actually illuminated anything because I never actually played a premium or a LE with the expression lighting on the Led Zeppelin, so I was just going by video. Yeah, so mainly going forward is basically we're kind of curious of how it's going to play. What are the rules going to be like? I'm they kind of give you some examples of the rules and how to start certain multi-balls, but reading it versus actually seeing it done are two different things, and that's why I don't like going over rules and everything over a video, because just me talking about it, I myself start to zone out. So let alone someone else that's watching the video kind of thing. They just kind of yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to follow what you're talking about, how to score these multi-balls and stuff. They need to see what's going on. So I just wish that more bands that are doing pinball machines would get more involved. And this is not just bands. I want all the people that are holding the licenses to give more, be more willing to make the product that Stern is trying to make better by giving them assets instead of holding back and limiting them what they're going to be doing. And this is something that designers will not talk about and mention to the public, is that majority of the time the decisions that are made in the design process and the makings of a game are greatly determined by the license holder's decisions. There's times where designers have had to make drastic adjustments and changes, and due to the license holder going, no, we don't want that, or no, we can't have that, or we won't allow that. And so they had to scrub and redo stuff. Each license holder is more difficult to work with than the next. I've heard from a couple of different designers on a particular thing. I won't put it in the video, but is evidently very difficult to work with.
Oh, I can imagine.
And Led Zeppelin was also horrible to work with. They were very stingy with the assets, and they wanted a lot of money. And it sucked because the game could have been a lot better, I believe. And Richie could only do so much with what he was given.
Yeah, I mean, Rush, I mean, I think that since now that they're technically retired, I think they're looking into not as heavy as Kiss is with all the merchandising and everything, but I think that's what they're starting. Because, I mean, they just released their own brand of beer in Canada not too long ago. And it's supposed to be available here in the States. I think they said the spring. So, yeah, I mean, they're doing their own beer. They're coming out pinball machines. I mean, if you go on their website, they got a whole new merchandise section now that they've just opened up. So I think that they probably got a kick out of, being more supportive with it and jumping in and helping out as much as they could.
That's good. I just kind of wish more like future license holders would do the same. Hopefully they follow suit and be like, what do you need? I mean, what songs do you want? I mean, what can we do to make this the best? I wish license holders would start to compete on which license holder had the best machine kind of thing. And I'm sure Stern would be all up for it kind of thing. But I think we're going to have to bring this video to a close because I'm getting blown up with emails and I've had to
my phone's going off.
Oh my God. Yeah, I've got to go. This sucks. I don't even want to finish reading that message. I'm probably going to be having to go to work. By all means, everybody, this is Tom Cecchetti, and he is a major Rush fan. I mean, when you put a tattoo of a band on your body, I guess that's legit. I mean, I don't know other way to say it right there. But yeah, exactly. So by all means, I'm hoping that this video is informative to you out there to make a decision on whether or not this game should be in your collection. Your thoughts and opinions, please put them in the comments section down below. Tom, you have any kind of closing remarks or words or suggestions or anything?
No, I just hope everybody gives this a good... plays it first before they make an opinion, because I think it looks like it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, so. And we'll see that on the 7th. Jack Danger, Dead Flip is going to be streaming that, and then I'm guessing I'll end up doing another video about the gameplay. All right, guys. Subscribe button, thumbs up, and until next time, peace out.